Hi everyone, I'm Saritha and welcome to the third lesson for this project, creating a black and white painting. Once you've selected your favorite lighting comp, let's refine this painting and bring it to a finished stage. Painting in Photoshop is different from painting with a real medium. It's much more versatile and mistakes can be corrected swiftly. Let's begin by first making a second version of our sketch and moving it to the top left. This will be your reference sketch, because as you're painting, you may lose some information. This way, you always have a reference image to look back to. Now remember to first set up your workspace as I had mentioned in the introduction video. Remember to use a nice big brush. Again, this is so that you only focus on the shapes. Layers in Photoshop are one of the features that most dramatically separate traditional from digital painting. Knowing how to use layers to your advantage can give you great freedom as a digital painter. Now let's bring in the reference. I can't emphasize enough how important this is. When trying to paint from our head, we are only pulling from our imperfect limited visual memory. And unless you've spent a focused time studying and analyzing your subject, it's very likely that you don't know all the relevant details needed to recreate it. To bridge the gap between reality and the incomplete image stored in your brain, leaning on reference images can make all the difference. Since her face is the focal point of this piece, I'm going to add as much detail as I can to it. I want to give her those big eyes that Vanellope had from Wreck-It Ralph, so I definitely want to give this part a lot of love. Contrast is your most powerful composition tool here. If it doesn't stand out, it's not really a focal point. I limited the amount of detail in the darker area. This lets the viewer's gaze focus more on the lighter area. When doing this, I suggest paying more attention to the edges, using softer edges for suggestive areas and harder edges for detailed parts. I find it's best to keep the background simple for these kind of portraits. Now let's add the final touches. Remember to keep referencing your painting in the smaller window. You don't want to add too much detail, especially if it can't be seen on a small scale. Finish off with some final adjustments to the brightness and contrast to really bring out your character from the background. I upped the contrast in the levels. Be careful not to overdo these effects though. For this lesson, I'd like a finished black and white painting. Thanks guys, and see you in the next lesson.